Episode 138. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We got Uncanny X-Men, number 1. We got Blood Hunters, number 1. And we have Space Ghost, number 4. Let's talk about them right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. My name is Frank Zanca. I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. I did my meeting that for scheduled for tomorrow actually got moved up to today, so we had some good meeting, and I think that we're going to be doing some kind of a reality show. So I'll be working on that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I am giving a class next week. I think Tuesday through Thursday for just 1 hour in the evening. So if you ever wanted to learn how to write for film and television, how to break down a script, how to schedule something, budget something in case you wanted to raise money from investors, I'll be teaching that. If you are interested, there will be a link in the description below. And you can also see the creative over here. Also, if you are a fan of classic monsters, Mark Spears, who does a lot of covers now for Marvel and DC, we are doing a Mythlords Classic Monsters. His artwork is very unique to him. So if you saw the Kneel Before Zod, he's done a bunch of stuff. Marvel, DC, he just did a Spawn cover that's really cool and stuff like that. But anyway, we're doing a deck builder area control. It's very easy to learn. I was teaching it in like 10 minutes. The only way to be a description all below. Also, we'll have the link to the Kickstarter. We're going to be launching in October. And you can just sign up now, and then we'll send an email once we launch. So if you can sign up for that, it's free to sign up. So, obviously no obligation to go ahead and do it after you sign up. So you'll just take a look at it and see if it's something for you. But it's going to be awesome. All right, so also remember that give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you can. And I do this series not only for comic aficionados, as the Steel Wes's thing, but I not only collectors, but for people that are just want to see what Marvel and DC are doing. I do spoilers for the books themselves, but normally they've been out for a week before I even do them for the most part. And then on top of that, if you want to skip to a specific comic, there's also chapters in the description below as well. All right, so let's jump into Uncanny X-Men number 1. They relaunched all of X-Men with some new writers and some new teams, and everybody's been very apprehensive about how this is going to work. This was an expensive book for 30 pages. I think it was $6 for 30 pages. Marvel is just racking up those prices, man. It's crazy. But anyway, this is Gail Simone. And I have been a fan of Gail Simone. I collected like her whole Birds of Prey run. So unfortunately, Birds of Prey now is done by Kelly Thompson, and it's just awful, horrible. But I haven't collected an X-Men book in a long time, because it's just been so bad. But I did watch the X-Men 97 cartoon. I did like that. And I would like a return to form with X-Men back to like the Claremont days, back when the stories were good, the characters were good, and we didn't have all this stuff being interjected. But this one is, in my opinion, is kind of all over the place. Not that I dislike it, it's just kind of all over the place. It doesn't really feel like a number 1. It feels like this is a team that's been together now for a while, and they're just doing odds and ends things. It feels like a filler issue for an issue 1. So we got this Dr. Ellis girl that's going into the Xavier Institute that has been abandoned. And I guess they are going through all the rooms, and they go into Cerebro, and they're like, well, we're going to remodel everything, and there is an inmate here, but we don't know who it is. And I'm going to jump through, even though it's 30 pages, I'm going to jump through it pretty quick. I remember seeing Rogue without her gloves on, touching people, but yet she could fly, so she didn't turn off her powers. So I don't understand. I must have missed something where Rogue can now touch people. If you guys know anything about what happened there, let me know. But anyway, they're here fighting a dragon. I guess again, that's why I keep saying everything here is completely random. So there's a sleeping dragon, I guess, in the Aztec, Mexico, whatever, South America, and it's good art. The art's decent. But they fight this whole big fight goes on with the dragon. Rah, rah, rah. I punch you in the head. I smack you across the thing. Wolverine turns his mask on. He's like, I'm in for it now. So we have a punchy with Rogue. And there's Wolverine jumping. Again, the artwork is pretty decent. He goes after the eyes of the dragon. And then we get... So the Eye of Agamotto is inside the dragon somewhere, so he punches a hole in there or cuts a hole in there to allow Remy to go in and grab it. And Remy is, of course, Gambit. I did not care much for the Gambit in Deadpool. I knew that headpiece would not translate. And his head looked too thick in there, but it works in comics, but I don't think it works in movies. But anyway, he's got the Eye of Agamotto. I don't know how there's two of them, but I guess there is. There's two Eye of Agamottos. I don't know. But anyway, so he's like, we're going to let you live. But he looks like they blinded him, but yet he flies away with no problem. See, she jumps him. I don't know if they kiss or not. But anyway, he flies away, and they say to the dragon that the dragon owes them a favor. So anyway, that's the end of that. So that fight scene's over. She gets a call from Scott, and he's got his own team in Alaska, and they're in a Sentinel factory, an abandoned Sentinel factory. I didn't like that issue at all. I'm not continuing that one. I did read it. But then we got this fauna chick that's getting hunted in the forest, and she fights her way out, but then gets zapped, I think. Oh, that's right. This monster comes out and says, come to mommy now. I got to tell you a bedtime story. Anyway, then we jump to another random scene of a low-level psychic or whatever telepathic child that has cancer and is dying, and his one wish was to become an X-Men, so he's a big fan of the X-Men. So the Nightcrawler is there basically as a priest. Yeah, see right there. The kid with cancer touches Rogue's hand. So, what happened there? How is she able to touch people now? I don't understand. So she turned off the one power that made her unique? I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, the kid ends up flatlining, dying, the whole bit. And she takes it hard, even though she's only known him for about 2 seconds. And then they go to Louisiana. See how everything is completely random and nothing is connected? I don't get it. I do like the characters together. These particular characters work really well together. So you have that. I know a lot of people were kind of turned off by the way Gail Simone wrote the dialogue for both Remy and Anna Marie. Anna Marie is Rogue. But I had no problem with it. I actually appreciated that she really leaned into the accents and got to give them their own voices, even if it was a little bit over the top. I appreciate that more than not having that at all. So I appreciate what Gail Simone was doing here. And I don't think they gave the Gambit in the Deadpool movie red eyes either. I think that would have helped, but they didn't do that. But anyway, so they get interrupted by this new group, including a horse, coming just happened to coming into the wooded area there where they are, and it says, help, she's coming for us, somebody help us. So, yeah, again, very random. And then we have an additional page which you can only view through your phone or through a device, through a QR code. And everybody's up in arms on that. And I really don't blame them. And it's a really good storm picture there. Storm is my favorite. But mutants no longer have a homeland, but they still have a queen in October. And this is by, I can't even say that name. So, I don't know. The Storm miniseries stuff has not been good ever. Nobody's ever done her right in a miniseries. So anyway, that's X-Men, and yeah, I enjoyed it. But it's just all over the place. I'll get the next one. We'll see how it goes. But if the storyline continues to be all over the place, then I'll probably drop it. But I'm going to give it a shot. And also, you saw that I think Jubilee, Jubilee's supposed to be in here, but she's not. So I don't know what's going on there. All right, so let's jump into, and of course we are going to see an X-Men movie. I don't think this particular... when they do an X-Men movie, they actually could do multiple X-Men movies, if you think about it. So they could do different groups. Instead of putting like 10 million of them in one movie and making it hard to understand, they can do like X-Men Red, X-Men Blue, X-Men Gold. They could do that. So that'll be interesting if they go down that route. But anyway, I didn't collect really any of the Blood Hunt thing that they did, the event that Marvel did. But I did pick up this Blood Hunters. They did a Blood Hunters portion, a tie-in for the event, and then this is a reboot that's going to be an ongoing series, I assume, or just another mini-series. I really wish there was at least one male in this group. You'd think that this is a male, but it's not. That is not Miles. This is Hallows Eve, and she has the ability of putting a mask on that I guess she just takes out of this void. I don't know where she gets them from. And then when she puts it on, she becomes that person. And Elsa Bloodstone, love Elsa Bloodstone. If you watch the Werewolf by Night thing on Disney Plus, that was the girl in there. That was Elsa Bloodstone. I'm also a huge fan of Cloak and Dagger. Why Cloak is in here, I have no idea. They remark that he's recovering, but that's just story plot so that they don't have him in there. They know there's no reason why he couldn't be recovered and be part of this group. And then we have Yelena Belova, the White Widow, of course, also from Disney, the one that was also in the Black Widow movie, the sister. So, of course, she wasn't a sister in the original comics. But anyway, so I hope that they bring the Cloak into this. That would kind of round out the team, I think. And Dagger is leading this team? No, Yelena should be leading this team, not Dagger. Dagger never had a strong enough personality to be leader. That's a mistake. And this is by Erica Schultz, I believe. Yeah, Erica Schultz. So she's an okay writer. And so we start out. So this is the vampires now all can walk during the day, but this takes place at night. But you can see now Hallows Eve on top. She kind of looks like Hobgoblin, a little bit like a female Hobgoblin. But yeah, so I like the team for the most part. But I don't know if it's written very well. But you can see how Hallows Eve pulled out a mask of Wasp, and she puts it on, and now she's Wasp. And she's stinging vampires, but the vampires are all over the place still, except that Dagger can revert them back. I don't know how that works. I don't know how she has that kind of ability. Her light daggers were supposed to, heal people from drug abuse and things like that. That was why they were originally created. But healing vampirism or vampirism. I don't think that's the case. So that's what she's doing right there when she puts her hand on him. His chest glows. And he's like, I like being a vampire. It's all I ever wanted. And now you fucked it all up, Bill. You guys suck. Interesting. But yeah, tell me if you put Cloak into that back area with his cape all flowing in the back. See, it's missing. I really think he needs to be here. But anyway, all the baddies from the Blood Hunt storyline are all here. They're all kind of hanging out and fighting with one another. And this big guy is like, I'm going to beat you up. Smoke eater, blasphemer, you're just bad peoples. Well, yeah, I'm a vampire. Of course I'm a bad people. Yeah, but you're just worse peoples. No, I don't give a crap about these guys. I think they're stupid. And then this guy comes in. He says, I want to be part of your pack, and the Blood Hunters are coming for us. And then we jump into Miles Morales, who is now a vampire. Okay. Turning superheroes into vampires never works, really. They did that with Jubilee for a while, and it was kind of stupid. But anyway, he ends up trying to help people, but realizes that they're all vampires, stealing blood or whatever they're doing. But anyway, he fights them, and he electrocutes them with his electrocution powers, because that's what he can do. And then they hear the commotion, so the Blood Hunters end up running up. And he's like, no, I'm not I'm still one of the good guys, I swear. And I guess she has, like, blessed bullets. So we got a second fight scene in here, except this one with Miles Morales running around. And then she shoots, but Miles Morales takes part of the bullet, and it singes because, again, they're blessed bullets. And he's like, oh, my God, you're a vampire! No way! Spider-Man's a vampire! And he's like, no, I'm a good guy. I swear. And she says, do you mind if I try to heal you? And he says, no, go for it. Because we just saw her do that in the last thing. Says it doesn't take for whatever reason. And she's like, oh, we gave you a chance. Because there's a conflict between Dagger and Bloodstone, because Bloodstone wants to kill everything, and Dagger's like, no. And we see her shoot Spider-Man, I guess. I do like how it looks like it's folded there, but it's really not. And then it's not folded. See? But it's pretty interesting how it's like printed like that. I'm going to give this another shot. Again, I like the team. I wish there was at least one male on it. There's no reason this needs to be a 100% female team. And I think that would round it out a little bit more. I don't know if Erica Schultz knows how to write men, I guess. I don't know. Why else would you make it a fully female team? Especially when literally Cloak is sitting out. Cloak and Dagger are always together. So it doesn't make any sense. And I want to know where... I'm tired of the whole vampire thing. They need, even though I write vampires themselves, but these, Buffy-like vampires that are just like nameless, things. And I guess they're going to have to take care of the big baddie vampires that are out there, but I kind of want them to go on a little bit more, kind of like an Eldritch type of Lovecraftian adventure. That's what I'd really like to see. And give us some story. There's no story here. It is like, okay, I'm fighting vampires, and then Spider-Man shows up, and then I'm fighting vampires. It's kind of monotonous already, and it's only one issue. So, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not like there's a story attached to it. It's just fight scene after fight scene. So, again, I like the characters. I just hope that there's more of a story involved in the next one. All right, so let's move on to Space Ghost. And would it make a good film? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But, again, I think people are tired of the whole girl boss thing, so I think it needs to be rounded out. I think it's kind of been played out. But yeah, supernatural fight things, obviously that does well. So, all right, so Space Ghost was originally a very campy show in the 70s. I don't know if it went to the early 80s or not. And then there was Space Ghost Coast to Coast. That was Space Ghost basically doing a talk show. So it was a cartoon talk show, which ran for quite a while on Cartoon Network. And now David Pepose picked this up through Dynamite. Jonathan Lau doing incredible work on the art. and they upgraded it to more of a mature theme, but still kept it family oriented because there's still kids in here, there's still a monkey in here, all that stuff, and all that really still works with Papose. I wasn't a fan of Papose's Punisher that he did, but I got to say this has been really good. In fact, I agree with everybody saying this is the best issue yet, and we're at number 4 there. He's really getting into it. We're getting more of a story going on. We're getting Zorak seeing just how badass he is, and it's becoming a threat, a very viable threat. And I really appreciate that we're kind of building up the villain. So anyway, the kid's dad was murdered, and whatever kind of technology he was working on is in Blip, which is the monkey. So we have a reason for the monkey being there. And the kids are orphans, so Space Ghost basically has indoctrinating him or them into his field of work, except that he's going to feel that it's too dangerous for them here and ends up leaving them. I'll show you that in a second. But we start out with the villain, with Zorak there, being threatened. And I guess he just escaped from whatever maximum security. And you can see that the artist really leaned into the horror side with that, and he kills this guy. So this alarm goes off, alerting Space Ghost of Zorak being set free or escaping. You know, he thinks back to what's going on. He kind of overreacts to them a little bit, saying, no, you guys are staying here. It's too dangerous. You don't follow me, etc. And they're like, we can help. And he's like, no, no. And you'll see later that he's right. But anyway, so he's kind of tracking down Zorak now, and he lands on this planet. Except when he lands there, he is greeted by not Zorak, but another villain. And this picture is amazing. I mean, look at that page. That is something that goes on your wall. And so Space Ghost obviously looking a lot smaller than his opponent. And he's going to end up fighting that opponent all the way through. And, you know, the kids are sad that they got left behind, except they get a notification about people getting taken hostage. And it's on a ship, and they have the ability of rescuing these people. So they have a shuttlecraft that they get into while Space Ghost is fighting Titanor. That's the name of the robot he's fighting. I mean, and just look at that. He's flying away. I mean, that's all really great action. He's blasting it with his bracers, which is his wristbands, however you call it. And that's what gives him all his powers and allows him to become invisible and all that stuff as well. And the kids have that ability. And they're bringing Johnny Quest back, which I heard was really good. The new Comic Book Day issue was really good as well. So I am looking forward to that. And I'm glad they left Haji and everything else exactly as it was without trying to go PC with it. So with the fight, the battle continues there against Titanor, and he's really not gaining any ground. And the kids end up trying to they don't stay back. They try to save these people anyway. They are trying to be heroes, and the bad guys are alerted to them and hit them with goo, which takes away their invisibility technology. So the hostages are saved, but now the kids are captured. So meanwhile, Space Ghost is really trying to kill, or at least take out Titanor, and it's not working out too well. But who's the one that actually took the captives and lured the kids there? Yep, it's Zorak. And meanwhile, it's not going well for Space Ghost at all. He's getting pounded literally into the ground. He uses a force field, gets himself up, and finally defeats Titanor as all that stuff's going on, except that, you know, and Zorak ends up using the communication device from the kids And he says, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And Zorak's voice goes in there and says, "You're going to help me or I'm going to kill the kids. So you got a choice. Make the right one." And really, really good stuff here. I like this a lot. And again, I was a big fan, even as cheesy as it was in the cartoon. And here it's just being done extremely well. Would it make a good film? I would pay to see that film on opening night. That would be a great. I would love to see that. Blood Hunters, yes, I think this could make a good film, but this story, just the generic vampire stuff, is not going to work for it. So I really hope they get through this very quickly and they jump into a little more of a meaty storyline. Uncanny X-Men, #1, the reboot. We're going to see an X-Men movie. We just don't know who's going to be in it. So I like this team, and I like Gail Simone's writing. I hope that we see a little bit more meat on this story going forward, and it's not just random. All right, I went a little long on this one. Thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up, and if you can subscribe, please do. It is free. Ring that bell, ding, ding, and get notifications about when I do my movie reviews and comic reviews and things to that effect. I also did Lorcana. I have a Borderlands review, and I also reviewed Cuckoo recently. Also, if you're interested in any kind of filmmaking class, remember I'm going to be doing that through Zoom next week. And then on top of that, remember, too, that you can sign up to get notifications from Mythlords with art by Mark Spears. The description below has the link to the Kickstarter, and you can sign up for when we release in October. All right, and get advantage of the early bird specials and things like that. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great week. Bye-bye.